What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Green Zone. As always, I'm your host, Sean Redden. This is going to be our NFL Week 12 and college football Week 13 edition. We've had back-to-back crusher weeks. Hopefully, we can keep it going this week in a slate that I honestly don't love. So we don't have our normal volume of bets, but I do think there is some value out there, and we're going to try to take advantage of it. And I'm going to try to go a little quicker this week with the show overall because I do have a wedding that I got to get ready to. That's an early afternoon wedding. So nonetheless, let's get going here. So first up is going to be the Colts at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 3.5 point favorite with the over under at 49.5. This Chiefs run defense has been lackluster so far this season, and that's a big problem against this Colts offense. I think Daniel Jones being a full go at practice yesterday is huge for them, and obviously Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Those two together can exploit this Chiefs rushing defense. And on the ground, they're going to be able to control the clock, limit the amount of possessions that the Chiefs are going to get. And on one of the other side, one of the defenses playing up in the box a lot this year for the Chiefs against the Chiefs, forcing them to try to go deep, and they just haven't really been able to take advantage of that. They need to put together long, methodical drives, and I'm just not sure that's a recipe you want to play against a Colts defense and a Colts offense that can really be explosive on the ground. So I prefer to have the 3.5 in my back pocket here. Give me the Colts plus 3.5 against the Chiefs. Next up is the Steelers at the Bears. The Bears are a 2.5 point favorite with the over under at 45.5. The Steelers QB situation is still up in the air, so I can't say what I think about them in this one with any confidence. The Bears defense has been playing well overall, but they've also been helped out by a lot of turnover luck thus far that you would expect to regress back to the mean. There are two teams that I would like to try to fade down the stretch, but they just happen to be playing each other today. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass this game between the Steelers and the Bears. Next up is the Patriots at the Bengals. The Patriots are a 7.5 point favorite with the over under at 50.5. To be honest, I had the Patriots locked in. With I expected Joe Burrow to be playing quarterback for the Bengals today. He was a full participant 3 days at practice this week, but they are not activating him. It's going to be Flacco again. Therefore, we don't have the rust factor of Burrow going to be playing quarterback here. It's going to be Flacco, so I don't really see the value on laying this many points with the Patriots anymore. It's going to be a stay away for me now in the Patriots Bengals. Next up is going to be the Jets at the Ravens. The Ravens are a 13.5 point favorite with the over under at 44.5. This Ravens offense hasn't shown me anything this year to where they should be laying this many points to anyone. But there's no way I'm ever going to press submit on a bet that backs the Jets. I don't think I would be able to do that. But it's Jets or nothing for me at this current number. So personally, it's going to be a stay away for me. Next up is going to be the Seahawks at the Titans. The Seahawks are a 13.5 point favorite with the over under at 40.5. The Titans are just flat out one of the worst rosters in the NFL, and the Seahawks are a pretty complete team. Seattle passing game was awful last week. Sam Darnold throwing 4 interceptions, and thinking they're going to use this game as a get right spot here. I think they hang a huge number on this Titans defense, and the Titans just don't have the weapons to be able to keep up consistently. So I'm gladly laying the 13.5 here with Seattle. Next up is the Vikings at the Packers. The Packers are a 6 point favorite with the over under at 41.5. I've been saying it for a while now. This Packers offense is brutal. They have no weapons at receiver, especially even less so with Tucker Kraft being out for the season. They're just not as explosive, and that's the type of offense Matt LaFleur wants to be. On the other side, JJ McCarthy or Nine or whatever he wants to call himself, they both stink. So he struggles to complete a pass, and his Vikings offense is held back because of it. So I like the under 41.5 here. I don't see a path for success for either offense. Next up is the Giants at the Lions. The Lions are a 12.5 point favorite with the over under at 49.5. This Giants defense is depleted with injuries, and this is the type of defense the Lions should be able to name their score against. They should see minimal resistance in the ground game, and they should also be able to take advantage of this Giants secondary as well. And on the other side, the Lions defense is still dealing with injuries themselves, so the Giants should be able to score some on them as well. And Jameis Winston playing quarterback makes me feel even better about this bet as he adds variance here, because it could lead to big plays for his own team, but it could also set up the opposing team for scoring opportunities as well. So that being said, I like this over 49.5 here in the Lions Giants. Next up is going to be the Jaguars at the Cardinals. The Jaguars are a 2.5 point favorite with the over under at 47.5. The Cardinals injury report just has way too many question marks for me to even begin to start thinking about a bet in this one. So I'm just going to move along here. No play for me in the Jaguars Cardinals. Next up is the Browns at the Raiders. The Raiders are a 4 point favorite with the over under at 36.5. Shadur looked about as bad as you could last week when he came in, but I mean, just thrown in the middle of the game with no practice reps. But I also have no confidence in him or this Browns offense at all. But also, the Raiders are laying 4 points, so you're basically going to need them to win by margin in this one. Yeah, no thanks. If you made me pick a side, then I'd probably lay it with the Raiders in this one. But it's just bad recipe. Shadur tends to hold on to the ball forever. I think there's a chance that Sanders or Crosby could break the NFL single game sack record in this one against Shadur and this Browns offense, but just not worth playing, in my opinion. So nothing for me in the Browns Raiders. Next up is the Eagles at the Cowboys. The Eagles are a 3 point favorite with the over under at 47.5, not 475. I forgot the decimal there. 47.5. This Eagles offense is brutal. The passing attack is basically non-existent, and the book appears to be out on Jalen Hurts. Hurts struggles throwing against zone coverage. The Cowboys primarily play zone coverage, and Hurts just refuses to throw the ball into tight windows, and just because he's scared to turn the ball over, which, I mean, long term, they're still winning a lot of games, but they're also not going to score a lot of points with the quarterback playing like that. And additionally, this Cowboys defense is improved with the additions of Quinnen Williams and Overshown, and this Eagles O-line has not been good at opening up running lanes. So I just don't really see a great path to success for this Eagles offense with their lackluster passing game and then the running game not doing what it was doing last year. And on the other side, the Cowboys have loaded at the skill positions: Javonte Williams, George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb. But this Eagles defense is a top 5 unit in football, and they will make it tough on Dallas all night. I really like this under 47.5 here. Next up is the Falcons at the Saints. The Saints are a 2.5 point favorite with the over under at 40.5. This might be the only time all year where you could say the Saints entering a game with the quarterback advantage in this one with Tyler Shuck over Kirk Cousins. But that being said, I have no interest in ever laying points with the New Orleans Saints in 2025. The Falcons have been so bad. Cousins looked terrible in his limited play earlier in the season. No action in this one. I'm just going to pass. Next up is the Buccaneers at the Rams. The Rams are a 7 point favorite with the over under at 49.5. I honestly don't see a ton of value on the number in this one. The spread looks correct, but I do have a bet in this one because the Bucs have been dealing with the flu throughout the locker room all week, which I'm sure hindered their preparation and getting ready for this game. And now, not only that, they have to fly from Florida to California cross country while dealing with that. And they're going to be without Jamel Dean in the secondary in this one. Big loss against his Rams passing attack. To me, that's sort of something. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the points here with the Rams against the Bucs. Then Monday Night Football is going to be the Panthers at the 49ers. The 49ers are a 7 point favorite with the over-under at 49.5. Nothing for me yet. I honestly really don't know what I want to do in this one. So it's been a while since I haven't had a Monday Night Football bet on this show. But yeah, I'm going to take the weekend and try to decide come Monday what I want to do in this game. But I just don't see anything worth playing right now. So to recap, if you missed any of that, we're going to go through my red hot locks right now. They're scrolling across the bottom if you don't want to listen to me. So you can just see that across the bottom and screenshot or write down or whatever you want to do. That being said, we're going to go quick. Colts plus 3.5 for a half unit against the Chiefs. The Seahawks minus 13.5 for 1 unit against the Titans. The Packers Vikings under 41.5 for a half unit. The Lions Giants over 49.5 for a full unit. The Cowboys Eagles under 47.5 for a unit, and the Rams -7 for a half unit against the Buccaneers. Now, my NFL parlay of the day that has hit back-to-back weeks, but I am going to be honest, I don't really love the card this week, so I don't feel as confident as I have the past 2 weeks about this one. But nonetheless, as always, it's 1 unit, 3 legs. This week's going to pay plus 615, and it's going to be the Seahawks -13.5, the Giants Lions over 49.5, and the Eagles Cowboys under 47.5. So those three are going to be my parlay of the day for this week. I'm just going to go ahead and let them scroll by one more time in case anybody missed that. And then we're going to move on to college football for today, coming up in a little over an hour. They're also just like the NFL Red Hot Locks right there scrolling across the bottom. If you don't want to listen, you can jot them down. That being said, let's get started. First one up is going to be Oregon minus 10.5 against USC for a full unit. USC should be without two starting safeties, including their green dot in this one. If you don't know what the green dot is, he's the guy that listens to the coach and relays the play calls to the defense. This USC defense is already a poor tackling defense besides their secondary. So without these two safeties, they become an even worse tackling unit. And this USC offense has struggled on the road under Lincoln Riley, and then especially quarterback Jordan Mailata, who's been one of the better quarterbacks this season, but he has looked worse in his road games. It's going to be a tough environment. The Alton Zoo is never a place you want to be playing. I think Oregon actually has blowout potential in this one. I'm going to lay the 10.5 here with the Ducks. Next bet is BYU Cincinnati over 55.5 for a full unit as well. Both of these defenses are leaky, and both offenses' strengths are the weak spots on the defense that they can exploit. I think both offenses are going to be in good position to capitalize in the red zone, and which is going to be lead to a shootout in this one. This number is a couple points up from what the opener was. I believe the opener was 53, and I think it's for a good reason. These two teams are going to score. I like the over 55.5. Next up is Rutgers plus 29.5 versus Ohio State for a half unit. This is super ugly, I know, but Ohio State is dealing with a bunch of injuries, including their top two wide receivers in Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, who are both questionable to play today. And if they do play, I would expect it to be in a limited capacity with Michigan on deck. And obviously, Ohio State is going to the playoffs, so they want to have those guys healthy. And Rutgers can run the ball with success against this Ohio State defense that isn't really an elite unit for them, the run defense for Ohio State. So I think Rutgers' strategy is going to be come in, run the ball, limit possessions, chew the clock, and I don't think Ohio State is really going to step on the gas and run away with this one. So I like taking the 29.5 with Ohio State. Next up is going to be Charlotte plus 43.5 versus Georgia for a half unit. This is really just a trend play. None of the numbers. I mean, Charlotte stinks, so none of the numbers are going to back this play. That being said, Kirby Smart is 0-15 against the spread as a 38-point or more favorite. Georgia doesn't really bury teams. They don't really run up the score once they get a lead. So they just prefer to coast. So I'll take the 43.5 and have that with Charlotte against Georgia. And then the final college bet of the day is going to be Tulane minus 8.5 for a full unit against Temple. Tulane needs style points to solidify themselves as a group of five representative in the college football playoffs. So I wouldn't expect them to take their foot off the gas and coast here. Temple really started out well, but they're kind of heading in the wrong direction here in year one under Casey Keeler. That being said, Tulane's offense is very elite with the BYU transfer Retzlaff, and his Temple defense is terrible. And I don't think Temple on the other side, I like their quarterback, Evan Simon. He's played pretty well this year, but they're not going to be able to keep up with the amount that Tulane's going to score in this one. So I'm going to lay the 8.5 here with Tulane. So just to recap, if you're scrolling across the bottom, college football, red hot locks, Oregon minus 10.5. BYU Cincinnati over 55.5, Rutgers plus 29.5, Charlotte plus 43.5, and Tulane minus 8.5. And that's all I got for you today. I'm just going to throw these back up there while I close out the show. As always, best of luck. Please bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you next week.